I made this video after a visit to the National Railway Museum in York. The Great Hall, housed in a former engine shed built in 1877, showcases some of the most famous and awe-inspiring locomotives from the past 200 years. British Rail Standard Class 9F No. 92220 Evening Star was built in 1960 and was the last steam locomotive to be built by British Railways. Number 30925 Cheltenham is a 440 schools class, named after schools, built in 1934. The Great Hall is one of 9 engine sheds built for the York Locomotive Depot. It is a large, circular building featuring a giant, operational turntable at its center, used for turning locomotives around and moving them into different display bays. Electric Locomotive 26020, built at Gorton Works, Manchester in 1951, for working the electrified line from Manchester to Sheffield through the famous Woodhead Tunnel. Here is a replica of an 1834 first-class carriage, built in 1930 for the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. At the back is a replica blue open-topped second-class carriage with 3 compartments, built in 1930 on a design of 1834. This third-class open carriage was built in 1834 for the Bodmin and Wadebridge Railway. The carriage is displayed alongside a second-class carriage and a composite first and second-class carriage, both of which were also built in 1834 for Bodmin and Wadebridge Railway. Agenoria is one of the world's oldest locomotives. Built in 1829 by Foster, Ratrick and Company, the locomotive was supplied to pull coal wagons at Staffordshire's Shut End Colliery. This is the original Rocket, designed by Robert Stephenson in 1829. It was a pioneering steam locomotive that became the template for future railway engines due to its innovative combination of technologies. The successful trials convinced the Liverpool and Manchester Railway directors to use steam locomotives for their line, which became the world's first intercity passenger railway when it opened in September 1830. This is a 1934 replica, part-sectioned, of Stephenson's A Rocket's locomotive, as originally built and painted in 1829. The section clearly shows the multitubular boiler. This was the primary innovation. Instead of a single flue, the boiler had 25 small copper tubes running from the firebox to the chimney, which significantly increased the surface area for heat transfer and generated steam much faster. The museum has an extensive collection of locomotive nameplates on display. The collection includes nameplates from many famous trains, reflecting over a century of railway history in the UK and beyond. The Furness Railway No. 3, nicknamed Old Copperknob, was built in 1846. The Great Northern Railway No. 1 class Stirling Single is a class of steam locomotive designed for express passenger work. Characterized by a single pair of large, 8 feet 1 inch A driving wheels which led to the nickname Latefooter. Originally the locomotive was designed to haul up to 26 passenger carriages at an average speed of 47 miles per hour. Number 1275, North Eastern Railway 1001 Class 1001 Long Boiler, 060, built in Glasgow in 1874. Narrow Gauge, double-ended steam locomotive, Livingston Thompson, 2-foot gauge, built for the Festiniog Railway in 1885. Bauxite Number 2 was built in 1874. An industrial saddle tank locomotive which worked as a factory shunter for International Aluminium Company. (35029) Ellerman Lines was built at Eastleigh in 1949 and sectioned in 1974 for educational purposes. LNER Class A for 4468 Mallard was built in 1938 for operation on the London and North Eastern Railway and is the holder of the official world speed record for a steam locomotive, reaching a speed of 126 miles per hour on July 3, 1938. This record still stands today. For 7798 Prince William, a Class 47 loco, has been dedicated to royal duties for more than 10 years. The North Shed is a working museum store that allows visitors to explore thousands of smaller railway artifacts. The shed is filled with nearly 10,000 items, such as locomotive nameplates, station signs, model railways, station furniture, silverware, stained glass panels, and even a statue of Britannia from Euston Station. Step into the Lancashire and Yorkshire Signalling School, located in North Shed. Here, dedicated volunteers bring history to life with monthly full demonstrations. Using authentic, period signalling instruments, they recreate infamous railway accidents, offering a unique and educational look into the past. For 3002 Sir Kenneth Grange is the very first production Class 43 high-speed train, HST. More commonly known as the Intercity 125, this locomotive was built in 1975. Considered Britain's most influential modern loco, these powerful engines achieved a world record 148 miles per hour top speed. This enormous 4 KF class steam locomotive is one of the largest in the museum's collection and too big to run on British tracks. It was presented to the National Railway Museum by the Chinese government in the 1980s. Number 737, Class D engine, built for Southeastern and Chatham Railway in 1901. This is an excellent example of late Victorian, early Edwardian era locomotive engineering. Former Southern Railway electric multiple unit driving motor brake 8143 was built in 1925 as part of a 3-car suburban unit for London to Guildford and Dorking services. Solid bronze plaque, commemorating the railway centenary celebrations at Darlington in 1925, designed by Italo Amerigo Pisani of Carora, Italy, presented to the British nation by the Italian railwaymen. The station hall, recently reopened after a long refurbishment, is home to several royal carriages, including the richly decorated one used by Queen Victoria and King Edward VII saloon, which features an early bathtub and air conditioning. The station hall is housed in the city's former main goods station. Number 214 Gladstone was built at Brighton in 1882, went into service at Brighton in 1883 and was withdrawn in April 1927, after running 1,346,918 miles. Most of those miles were run on the London to Brighton main line. The hall is designed to immerse you in the busy world of a Victorian station, with period advertising, signage, and art, including paintings of Waterloo Station by Terence Cuneo. LMS Hughes Crabbe 13,000 is a preserved British steam locomotive, the first of the London, Midland and Scottish Railway, LMS, Hughes Crabbe class of mixed traffic engines. The station hall is home to several royal carriages, including the richly decorated one used by Queen Victoria and King Edward VII saloon, which features an early bathtub and air conditioning. Queen Adelaide Saloon is the oldest surviving British Royal Railway carriage and was the first built for the exclusive use of a member of the royal family. The Queen Mother's Saloon carriage was built in 1941. The saloon was used extensively by Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and her husband, King George VI and later by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. The Royal Saloon, originally built in 1908 for King Edward VII, was taken over by Queen Mary in 1924. Her monogram is still visible on the frosted glass windows. The carriage was later used by Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and eventually withdrawn from royal service in 1978. .422 Midland Railway Class 115, built in 1897. It is the oldest preserved engine in Britain to have been built new with piston valves. Postal Sorting Travelling Post Office West Coast Joint Stock, built in 1885 and withdrawn in 1934. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video.